Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of First Look, Final Word, podcast where we take you along to see a movie with us. My name's Pete.
And I'm Trevor. What's going on, you wealthy murderers?
Okay.
Today we're seeing Companion. A billionaire's death sets off a chain of events for Iris and her friends during a weekend trip to his lakeside estate.
Wow, you threw me right off there because I had no idea who dies. It sounds like someone's dying in this movie.
Well, I learned what this movie is about 5 seconds before coming up with that
Isn't
intro.
it about like a robot or something?
I have no idea.
No?
I'm going in pretty blind.
I thought it was like an AI, like that Megan Fox movie that came out ago. Well, I might be way off with that. Well, we guess we should start doing some research for the show.
Transformers? Is that what you mean?
I think it's Transformers, right? There's a robot.
That's a robot movie with...
No, there was one where it's like a robot girlfriend, right? Was Megan Fox not do a robot girlfriend movie?
Yeah, that sounds familiar. I
never saw it, but I saw the clips online.
I did see Megan
Yeah,
last year.
Megan.
Did you see that one?
I did. Megan 2.0 is coming out this year.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited. Can you do the Megan dance?
I cannot do the Megan dance.
Can you dance at all?
No.
Okay.
So I guess I probably can do the Megan dance because I don't think it's that difficult.
Yeah, so I really don't know much about this movie besides that it's coming out it came out in January, which is a traditional dumping ground,
Yeah.
but it's got amazing reviews so far.
Well, I mean, I haven't watched a full trailer. I think I've seen a clip here and there, and my assumption was that it was like robot girlfriend / companion, hence the name, and with like Jack Quaid in a sort of romantic relationship with this robot that then turns sour. I'm guessing she just murders everybody at that point.
Well, spoilers for a movie we haven't seen.
Yeah, spoilers for things that I'm just assuming based off of one clip that I saw, which didn't have any information in it.
Yeah, I guess if it's sort of trailer present, then it's...
I honestly,
It's free
I
from
didn't get that
spoilers,
from the
right?
trailer at all. I'm just guessing that's what this movie's about based off of that. It's a lady robot and it's a horror. Like, well, how else is it going to happen? What else is going to happen? If we're going to go see this,
Well,
it's not going to be any robots in it at all. The synopsis was not about that at all.
That'd be so funny. Yeah, well, it's funny. Like sometimes these synopses just give you way too much detail, like going into like the minutia of the plot, and sometimes it gives you a one sentence overview that
It's nothing to do with.
basically has nothing to do with it.
All right, so I guess we're not going to have a whole lot to talk about. Like, do we know anything about this movie? Like, who even made it? I guess I could pull someone.
Drew something was the director. I don't know if I recognize the name, but stars Jack Quaid, son of Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan, of course.
Yes.
And someone named Sophie Thatcher, who I didn't recognize her name. Some of her other credits included Heretic from this year, so she might be having a bit of a moment.
Did you see Heretic?
I didn't. It's on my watch list.
I have not seen that either.
Right now, I'm furiously catching up with all my Oscar blind spots,
Yes.
as are you.
Yeah, as we'll talk about momentarily.
But yeah, I have a long watch list now, and that one is not really at the top of the pile. All right, so what's the director?
I don't know, but I'm just looking at IMDb, and the first thing I saw was someone wrote, "Avoid the official trailer." So maybe I shouldn't have seen that one small clip.
Whoops.
Yeah. Okay, well, I didn't see anything in it. Okay, so sorry, I was looking at the director.
You're looking for the director, yeah.
Something worthwhile here. Here, Drew Hancock, and he also wrote it. I don't know who this person is though. My Dead Ex. Do you know that one?
No, but maybe he sounds like a horror guy.
Yeah, he must be.
Okay.
Yeah, well, okay, maybe this is his breakout hit.
There you go.
It's getting pretty good reviews, right?
So yeah, it's getting great reviews. So we don't know much going into this movie, and I guess
that'll be good thing. That'll be a good thing, though.
Yeah.
We're not going to spoil anything.
We're on a bit of a horror kick lately.
Yeah, you really are, right? Horror and body horror.
Horror and thriller, yeah. So if you listened to our episode last week, you would know that we have started an ongoing project to watch all of the movies nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards.
Yeah, I usually miss a bunch of them, but it's not specifically the things that we haven't seen. It's more specifically things that we haven't done a podcast on. But we're actually just going through them all, right? Because we already did a couple that we didn't probably we've done a podcast on. So
yeah, last week we kind of did a quick brush up on Dune Part 2 and Conclave, which we had their own dedicated episodes to.
Yeah.
And we got into a bit more detail on Wicked.
Yeah.
And today we're talking Anora and The Substance.
Yeah, I think it kind of goes to show that we need to pick our movies better, I think. Because how many of the best pictures did we actually do episodes on? Like 2?
Well, we were guessing, like Blitz, for example, had
Oh, yes.
all the markings of a big Academy Award player.
That really just kind of fizzled out, didn't it? Disappeared.
Yeah, well, had Steve McQueen as a previous Oscar winner, a very prestige director.
We quite liked it. We were quite up on it from what I remember.
Yeah, we're pretty high up on it. Like,
I don't think we were saying it's going to win all the Oscars or anything, but it was a good movie.
I think kind of what you were saying was what like a lot of people from the UK were saying is that, I don't need another movie about the Blitz necessarily.
Yeah, we don't need to turn this into a Blitz.
Check out our episode on the Blitz. But it is kind of funny for people listening, like, maybe for the first time. We do go in kind of seeing these movies mostly blind. Like, we don't know what the critical consensus is, and then we have to opine on the movie we just saw right away without really knowing what the vibe of the internet is.
Yeah, I think when we first started out, I tried to get more research in so we could have like in-depth conversations about it beforehand, but I kind of like this way better. It's just more like you get a better initial reaction when it's like you're not really expecting, you don't know what to expect, and you come out and you go, okay, well, and then you really want to talk about all the things you've just seen. Versus a lot of times we just be like, yeah, that's kind of what we expected. So we just talked an hour about, so we'll just vamp for them while we go home.
Yeah, like I like to think of this not as a critical analysis show, just like a show that's just two people's genuine processing of the movie that they just saw.
It's just a hangout.
It's a cool hangout, and we're your friends.
And we don't mention it enough, but we are actually driving to the theater.
We're driving to the theater
to see the movie.
With us, as always, is our producer, Brandon, who's in the back seat. He's going to be quiet like usual, but maybe we'll get him to talk on the way back home.
It was like usual for the first time. Yeah. But, because we actually do drive to the movie, go see it, and then we literally don't talk about it while we leave the theater and get back in the car. So it is our definite, genuine opinion mere minutes after the credits have rolled, which I always think is a good raw way to get it. I mean, maybe we'll change our opinion after we've slept on it and seen it the second time. But
do you think we've ever just been like flat out wrong about something?
My initial reaction when you just asked that was, I feel like we have, but I can't remember when it was. I feel like there was something that we were quite up on and then everyone seemed to hate.
Well, I was going to say, I think that I really need to watch The Iron Claw because I've got a few people who messaged me like saying that, they
hated it.
No, that they absolutely love it, and they don't understand why like I don't also just love it. Yeah, because I was like fairly down on that movie.
I remember. I think I was more up on you than that.
You were that's one of the ones we've been the most apart on.
Yeah, I think you're right. But I didn't think it was like amazing. I mean, I had a lot of nit to pick with that one, but yeah, it was good.
So that's one that I would like to revisit.
Yeah,
and maybe
you know what? Different opinion is fine, Trevor.
That's true.
It's good. It's healthy.
I just feel like I'm probably wrong. I don't know.
Well, that's what we'll get into it. But I had that feeling pretty hardcore last night when I was watching Substance.
Okay, well, do you want to save that for after Anora?
I've probably got more to say about The Substance than Anora. So yeah, why don't we save that a second?
Okay, so we're going into our Oscar Catchup segment. So if you have not seen Anora, or if you have not seen The Substance, we'll give you plenty of warning before we go into each one. And if you kind of just want to avoid that, you can just skip ahead to our review of Companion.
Because we do get pretty spoilery, right? Well, when we're talking about these movies,
I think we should.
I think we're going to have to,
because we kind of just have to speed run it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think it's going to be a no holds barred spoilerific or a quick chat about these two movies.
I do enjoy like I have plenty of movie podcasts I listen to myself, and I do enjoy some of them that kind of talk about the movie without spoiling it.
Yeah, it can be good, especially when you haven't seen it and you want to listen.
Yeah, that's like just to get someone's opinion that you trust. And so we do that too. Like, so we have segments. Yeah. We have the opening segment of the main movie we're reviewing, where we do spoiler free, and then we give you warning before we go into spoilers. But I would just find it uninteresting to just never go into spoiler talk on a movie.
Yeah, I mean you have to, right? I think it's a fine balance, because you want to like you say, you want people to be able to listen to you, but you also want to talk about the very interesting plot points that happen in movies. So
but plenty movie podcasts don't go into spoilers. I don't know how they do it. Yeah. I have so much like the driving force behind this podcast is we both are just loudmouths who have a lot of opinions about the movie that we just saw.
Yeah, and I know a lot of another, like you say, I listen to other podcasts too, and I always find it really interesting how they like review a movie and do like the gymnastics of talking around certain things, and I'm like, that's a really good skill to have, which I don't think I have as well. So, so you got to talk about something without giving it away. So like people who've seen it know what you mean, but people who haven't seen it, just you could still get stuff from it, but it doesn't spoil it. Like that's hard.
I think judging from our own spoiler-free sections, I think you are doing great job.
You too, Trevor. We're
Thanks.
amazing.
I wasn't expecting that to come back to me, but it's very appreciated. So thank you.
Yeah. I aspire to be as good as you, Trevor.
Okay, thanks. So should we talk Anora?
Yeah, let's get into Anora. Yeah.
Okay. So had you seen any other Sean Baker movies before this one?
I'm not sure actually. What did he do before?
So like I'm a fairly recent Sean Baker fan, so I've only seen his past 4. So I've seen Tangerine, The Florida Project, Red Rocket, and this one.
Right.
But he has a much longer career than that.
No, I haven't seen any of those.
Well, he's
which is probably why I had to ask you.
he's really good. Like quite a funny voice, but like also like has a very strong grip on drama.
Right.
And all 4 of those movies deal with like sex work in some way or another.
Yeah,
so it's a common interest of his.
Right. Okay, cool.
So what did you think about Anora?
So I found it I enjoyed it, but I've got a couple of issues, and I have an issue with both of these movies we're going to talk about.
Okay.
And I feel like they're both way too long. And I know I've brought this up before. I don't know if I'm just old.
I'm going to agree with you with that on the substance, definitely.
Yeah.
How long is Anora?
Well, and this is the thing. I don't know how long it was, and I don't even know if it's about runtime, but maybe I'm just talking more about the pacing of it. Because for the first, like, I don't know how long it is, but it's like almost like an hour of the movie before it gets into like the sort of capery sort of side of it. Like I was not invested in it at all. I didn't like any of the characters. I'm going to be honest.
So like the first act when they're just basically speed running through the plot of Pretty Woman?
Yeah, but like they don't speed run through it. It takes them a long time. Like if they'd done that in like 20, 30 minutes, I would have been okay. But
I thought it was like 30, 40 minutes.
Maybe I'm misremembering this, but I just
so
remember
you didn't enjoy that
movie.
opeed act?
No, I hate
Interesting.
it. I didn't like it at all. I was like, I mean, I liked kind of what it was doing. Like he says, like speed running through Pretty Woman, but I just really didn't like. I really hated whatever his. I forget his name. The guy.
The Russian husband guy. Yeah. Well, I think you're supposed to hate him.
And that's what I mean. And like that's why I was on board later, because I was like, oh, I understand this now. Like you were always supposed to hate him. It was like it's a bit of like a rug pull because he's not like the guy who's going to come in and save her. It's not like White Knight in it. He's actually just a jerk. So I understood that, and I actually did like it. So it's not like I didn't like the movie, and I really loved the way it did that. I just felt like it did it too, like it poured it on too much. I was like, am I supposed to be like behind this couple? Because I'm not at all. I barely disliked them, actually. And then when it got into it, it's like, okay, I see now. It was supposed to be. Maybe it's because I wasn't as familiar with the guy's work from his previous movies, but so maybe I was just I wasn't aware of what it was trying to do until I figured it out. But yeah, I was just like, I was honestly like bored. I was like, I don't want to watch this anymore. I'm sick of watching these 2 people who are just making horrible decisions, and to me, just seems to be very unlikable. Well, but then it kind of changed for me, and then I was like super on board with it, and I loved the rest of it.
Okay, well that's so yeah.
That's what I mean by it's too long. Like maybe I just need to watch it again, and I just wasn't understanding what I was watching at the time. But for me, I was like, why are we spending so much time on this relationship? They're obviously horrible people. Well, I think, why do I care? What's going to happen?
I think what you were probably picking up on was how like artificial their relationship was, right? Yeah. Because she, as a tool of survival, is just having to be like a complete people pleaser and just like be the ideal form of whatever like guy that she happens to be with.
Yeah.
And she sees an opportunity to live a life of comfort, and she takes it. Whereas he is just like a little baby boy.
Yeah, he's just a
who just is following his base impulses, who doesn't want to go home to mom and dad.
Yeah, and I totally understand that was the point. Like they had to show that that's what these people were, and you had to understand that that's how they operated. I just didn't need that much of it. It was losing me. I was like, maybe because I didn't see where it was going to go, and I didn't understand why they needed to show me that for so long.
Oh yeah, well, it's interesting because I knew kind of going in that their marriage was going to be objected to.
Yeah, so
And
did
so-
I, though, because I'd read the
Okay.
synopsis, but I figured it would be like them against the world, like, let's...
Yeah, well, so did
Yeah,
I. That's
right?
why I thought it was the funniest thing in the world when he just runs away, and it's so devastating.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what I mean.
Because-
Everything that happened there, I thought was amazing. Yeah, I agree.
And like, I don't know if like she did actually love him, or she convinced herself
Right,
that
yeah.
she loved him, or she just convinced herself that I'm just gonna, I'm going to,
Yeah.
make this work no matter what, because it beats the alternative to just going back and stripping and sex work every night.
Yeah, it's funny
not
because-
sustainable.
Because I really think that she had convinced herself, though, because like,
I think she did. Yeah.
like, but she was like so excited to meet his parents and like become part of the family. Like she was so naive to think that she would just be welcomed in as this like as his wife. And she seemed genuinely shocked when that didn't go the way she planned. Which again, like really, like that's seems like you would be a bit smarter than that. But I don't know. But
Well-
yeah, so like that's what I was saying. I was kind of expecting it to be like, oh, the family's against his marriage, let's run away together, and it'll be like us trying to live our life and escape.
That's what I thought it was going to be.
And like I was watching that first section, expecting the rest of the movie to be that, and I was like, I do not care. I don't want to see these people trying to make this work because I don't want this to work. I don't care about this relationship. I hate these people. Just stop. But then, like you say, they flip that, and he's like, he just runs away. She's just like losing it, and the other guys are like. It turned into a bit of like a farce at a certain point. It was amazing.
Well, yeah, like he just runs away like he's a scared kid whose parents are coming back from vacation after he threw a party, right?
Exactly. This is basically what it is.
I don't know where I thought the movie was going to go. Like, I think I was probably expecting him to have some kind of character growth at some point, and
exactly,
for them and for her, like you can tell, like she's not like over the moon in love with him, but maybe they would find some common ground and understanding each other, and like it would turn into a love story that way.
Yep.
But then it ends up happening with Igor instead, and then just like this guy who like ties her up and kind of kidnaps her, but then actually has like a heart of gold.
Yeah, because isn't he nominated?
He's nominated as well.
Because I was a bit surprised with that, because I love that character and I love like how he portrayed it, but I didn't think he was doing anything like crazily noteworthy with his performance. He was just kind of like, he just sort of seemed like the bewildered, nice guy.
Yeah, like I guess he does have very expressive eyes. Like, because he's not emoting a lot. He's doing a lot of a subtle performance. So
yeah, maybe that's what it is. I guess like to your point, it is very subtle.
It's not a typical Oscar performance.
No.
And if you get the time, you should definitely watch like his reaction video to getting nominated, because he's watching with his whole family, like his wife and like his kids in the backseat of the car, and they're all just like going crazy. I do like those stories. It's really hardcore.
I don't begrudge
because like
getting nominated, but
because like
okay.
He's not like an A-lister, B-lister, anything. Like it's really just like a surprise nomination, or like getting an Oscar wasn't that surprising, but kind of surprised that he was getting taken this seriously.
Yeah.
But
fair play to him.
When I was watching it, I like when that second act starts, when those like sort of gangsters come in and like take her hostage.
Yeah.
I like tensed up.
Yeah.
And I was like really scared that the movie was going to go in one direction.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, because I was the same. I was like, you don't know where it's going.
Because like they're tying her up, and I'm like, where is this movie going?
Yeah.
Like this could get really dark. And so I wasn't appreciating the comedy enough.
No, it took me so long to realize what they were doing. I was like, I get it now.
I find like I had to like relax a little bit, because I'm like, is she gonna die? Like,
yeah, because what I mean, like you say about the guy, I forget his character name, Igor. Like he, at first, he seems very sinister, because he's like just a stoic, quiet guy who's kind of like the goon, and you don't know what he's gonna do. And then like as it goes on, you go, oh, and he's not sinister at all. He's just like a nice guy who's just trying to do what he's like the best.
Yeah, he's just like, he's just a working class like pseudo gangster. Like he's driving his grandma's car.
Exactly, yeah, driving into hospital appointments.
The guy who got like kicked in the face is just so funny, because he's just miserable the whole movie.
He's just like complaining the whole time. I love how he just dips out on the baptism. That was amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so that's a different guy. But the guy who dips out of the baptism too, like he does it in the funniest way imaginable.
Just like answering his phone in the middle of it. It's like, there's got to be a better way to just Just excuse
Like
yourself.
that's a toxic way, like work culture. You gotta.
Oh man. No, but all those three characters were just amazing. It's like the Three Stooges at certain points. But
Well, and like when the parents finally get there, like she finds the guy, and he's like just clearly resigned to it being to it happening. So like you definitely understand that he never actually thought this was going to work. Like he was just trying to buy himself a little bit more time in America because he just didn't want to grow up.
Yeah.
And then like she kind of just resigns herself to like, okay, like what can I like finally get out of this?
Which I thought she got kind of shortchanged.
She like, well, I think that just speaks to how like unsophisticated of a character she is. Like, because she's just playing a character who just doesn't know like enough of what her rights are. Because like she's going to court to get an annulment, and she's like, I don't want to do this, but like just like tell anybody there that you were there.
They did throw the line in there where she's like, I'm going to get a lawyer, and then the mother's like, well, we'll just like bury you in the courts, and you won't have any money.
Yeah, we'll take everything away from you. But you know, I feel like if she was like just a little bit more like had a little bit more like knowledge of that kind of world and that experience, she would know like this family would easily pay you $100,000.
Well, that's exactly what I was just gonna say. Because
you're not gonna get half, but
like the initial offer was like $15,000 or whatever. She was like, okay, I guess I'll just take that. It's like you're not even gonna negotiate because these people are millionaires, right?
It was $10,000, and she had gotten paid $15,000 just to be his girlfriend for a week.
Exactly. That's
so like
what I mean.
It's such an insultingly low offer.
Yeah, maybe that was done on purpose.
It definitely was done on purpose.
But I was like, man, I would be like, I will take $500,000 to go away and never say anything about this ever again. Otherwise, I'll just go to the papers or whatever.
Yeah, because like I think the movie's showing like she is being taken advantage of by this rich family. Yeah. And like they're just like assuming that she is like the worst possible version of what you would imagine when they when they said like, you know, my son married a prostitute.
Right.
But like she's not. Like he's the one who asked her. Like she was not going into it planning to marry him, right?
True.
And then I think like you kind of see more and more like her real personality kind of seep throughout the movie when she like doesn't have to be acting anymore.
Exactly.
And then, you know, that final scene where she's just crying in the car, I think is just like some outstanding acting by
some really
Mikey Madison, I believe her name is.
Yeah, that end scene is just heartbreaking.
So I see like that scene right there could earn her the Oscar.
Exactly.
I think it's a great performance. Like there's not a lot of performances that are that funny and that like emotional.
No, I think she did it really well. Really great job.
Anything else on Anora? So like what would you rate Anora overall? Like, so you liked like the last two parts basically?
Yeah, I really did like it. I don't want to come off like I didn't. I think I just wanted it to be a bit tighter at the first act. I didn't, or maybe that's just me. Like I say, I only watched it the once. I think maybe watching it again where I know where things are going, I don't know if that would irritate me more because I'm like, can we just get on with it?
I think
or whether I just appreciate it more for what it's trying to like. It's building the characters. I'm sure it like dangles like you can see where this is going, right? This guy is going to do this and all the stuff that I obviously missed the first time I watched it because I didn't think they were going that way. So yeah, maybe I just need a rewatch. But as I say, I'm still up on it, even though I'm complaining about that first bit. I still think it's one of the best movies I've seen this year for sure. I think I
would also like to rewatch it just to like to know, like to just relax and enjoy the comedy a bit more.
Exactly. Like I know what they're doing, so I'm gonna just absorb it now.
The script is just fantastic. So I would really like to watch this one again and just kind of enjoy the comedy more. All right, should we jump to the substance?
Yeah, I'm really interested to talk about the substance with you, Trevor. Because I know you're a big body horror guy.
I'm a big body horror guy.
Big Cronenberg guy. And this definitely goes there.
And to be honest, going into the movie, I definitely had my guard up a little bit.
Oh, really?
Like I was sort of like perplexed at why this body horror movie, like why is this getting all this attention from the Oscars, and like kind of annoyed that like, you know, so many great body horror movies in the past just like have not gotten any attention at all.
Right.
And the way I watched this was kind of weird. Is I watched the first half hour,
right,
and then I was appreciating it, but I'm like, you know what? I think my wife would enjoy this with me as well. So then I rewatched it with her.
I'm so glad I didn't watch this with my wife. She would not be pleased.
And like during like the first like 45 minutes or whatever, my opinion was like, this is pretty good. Like it's really like hitting you over the top of the head with its themes, but I appreciate how stylized it is.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know if it's anything special or whatever. And then like the last 2/3, I actually really liked.
Yeah.
Like as it descended more into like the body horror mania.
Okay. Yeah.
I was getting really into it, and then I just kind of came around to the opinion of like, hey, you know what? They nominate a bunch of garbage every year. This is actually good. I don't know why it's this body horror movie over a bunch, but like, you know, I'm not complaining about it. I thought it was pretty good.
See, that's amazing because I had a feeling that was going to be your reaction. I was like, I bet Trevor loves this movie.
So it won me over eventually.
Yeah. Okay, so I did not like this movie.
Okay.
I actively started to hate this movie as I was watching it at a point.
Okay.
And not for the reason why people probably would think that I hate it. Like the body horror stuff, like I'm not a huge body horror guy. Like it was definitely very squeamish in certain points, but I don't mind that. I can get behind that if it's in a movie. I don't mind that. Even the crazy batshit stuff at the end, I was like, fine, that's a choice, do it. But I just couldn't understand why this movie was nominated for so many Oscars.
Yeah, I think you just gotta like just divorce it from that.
I feel like I
it's
have
just
to because I was with you. I started watching the movie and I really liked it. Even the opening shot with the egg and then it goes into making the star on the Hall of Fame. I thought that was really well done. I thought there was really nice stylistic choices by the director on this one. But at the same time, I was like, oh, you can really see the budget in this one. I thought and I don't know if you ever noticed that, but. And I think some of it was a choice, like the way it was shot and the way everything was a bit like overblown and almost like not real. But like it seemed a bit like, I thought it seemed pretty cheap in places and a bit like student filmy. I was like,
really?
I was like, this seems like really like someone did this on a real low budget, which is true. We didn't have a massive budget. It's an independent movie, but like, I was surprised where I was like, yeah, I can see that I'm watching a low budget. It seemed like a B movie to me is what I'm trying to say. It seemed like a bit of a B movie with a bunch of body horror in and then like over the top gore and blood and stuff. And I'm like, which I'm not nothing against, but I was like, why is this being lauded so much? What am I missing? Why is this so many? Why is this getting so many plaudits? Because I wasn't really loving it.
So like even aside from it being like kind of overestimated by the Oscars and awards season, like you still weren't like enjoying it, or was that kind of clouding your?
No,
your view
well,
of
I mean,
it?
I was a bit perplexed by that, but like I said, I can still enjoy a movie. I don't need it to be an Oscar winner. So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna watch this movie, and I was enjoying it quite a bit. Like even though I was like, yeah, it seems a bit like rough, but I really, like I said, I really liked how stylized it was, and Demi Moore's performance I was behind. But like even. I felt like apart from the two leads, I thought everybody else was really not great in terms of acting. And I think a lot of that was purposely done. Like it was just like obviously like the male characters were mostly caricatures in this one, especially Dennis Quaid, which you did fine. But I was like, it just sort of grated on me. Like some of the acting was really rough. I thought like for like basically all every other character.
Yeah, like I guess they're going for something like they're going for like a surrealism, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, for sure. And like. And that's, that's the thing. It's like, when is this supposed to be set? Like it doesn't make any sense.
Well, yeah,
it doesn't matter.
I think it's supposed to be a combination of modern day and 80s.
Yeah, because like nobody has a cell phone. There's no internet.
Well, yeah, she does have a cell phone.
Does she?
Yeah, she's getting texts from the guy.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Like it's also like the star of like an aerobics show on network TV, which is like super bizarre that would even be a thing in these days. But like, yeah, I think it's just a combination of those aesthetics because it's her as her younger self who started in the 80s with her in like modern day. So it's kind of a fusion between those two times. Yeah,
I saw it as it's almost like a fable or like an allegory of that sort of industry. It's not like this is Hollywood. It's like it definitely is, but like they don't show you anything that indicates that it's actually Hollywood apart from some palm trees. But maybe that's just because they weren't filming in Hollywood and they shot it wherever.
Well, I guess I see your point in that it does have like a tiny town feel to it. Like there's only 3 locations basically.
Yeah, exactly. And like not a huge cast either. And like
and you're right that it is like a B movie, but body horror is like definitely a B movie genre thing. Yeah. And like I guess as a body horror fan, I was appreciating how like I could tell that the director Coralie, can't remember her last name. Like I saw her movie Revenge that she did a few years ago now.
Right.
And like she has like just like stylistic B movie instincts, like kind of like how Tarantino has B movie instincts, just in like in a different way. And so like I would have guessed that when they were making this movie, they were not thinking that this was going to be picked up by awards. Like I think that probably came as a surprise to a lot of people. Sometimes movies just get momentum and you can't even really explain it.
True. Yeah, and I want to harp on, but so like I say, I can take. Like, I understand that it's a stylistic choice. It's B movie-ish and it's body horror and there's going to be going on and all that I can get behind. But it just really lost me. And I think it's just I didn't think the plotting of the movie or even like the screenplay in particular is just like not a lot of it didn't make a lot of sense to me. And like I didn't think it did an amazing job of even explaining the concept of what was supposed to be happening. And sometimes I was a bit confused, and I don't know if this is just me, and maybe, but I'm like, and then by the time we got to the end, I was like, so many people have made so many really weird choices, and things have been contrived in a way that just doesn't make any logical sense in my brain. I was just like, I'm done with this. So even when I got to the fun like body horror stuff, I was like, I don't care anymore. Like you can do 3 or 4 or 5 different reveals of stuff going on at the end, and I was like, please just end. It's been 2.5 hours. I don't want to watch this anymore. That's how I felt last night watching it.
I ended up like, I loved how many steps there are to this whole procedure, and I love how complicated it is.
I know what you mean.
And it's like don't feed the Aqua after midnight kind of thing.
And
like
just immediately doing that.
Yeah, it's like after the second week, she's like, oh no, I need like a few more seconds to have sex with this guy. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's gonna steal some of your life force.
Stuff like that, like decisions and stuff like that. I was just like, come on. Like you can just think of a better way to do this. It's like, like even weird little things were bugging me. Like, why are you leaving people just lay on the floor naked for a full week and
that's what I said,
walking around them to brush your teeth and shit? That doesn't make any sense to me.
I said, put them in bed, put a blanket on them.
Just get them dressed. Why'd you have to be naked in the first place? It doesn't make any sense. And like, I don't know why this bugged me so much, but she was like, "Oh, I need somewhere to put this body. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll build an entirely secret wall."
That was so funny.
Seemingly in like she just has 20 minutes.
Advanced contractor skills to build like a great secret wall.
Amazing job doing that.
Yeah, it's seamless.
In like a day. She did it in like a day, and I was like, that just annoyed me. I was like, maybe that's just supposed to be. Maybe that's supposed to be humorous, but I was just like, it just bugs me. Like, why do you even have to do that?
Yeah, I think the whole movie's going for like a heightened reality. I had a read on the movie that none of it existed at all. Like this is all just after her accident.
Yeah, I thought he might go that direction at one point where it's just like it's all in her head.
The fact that the movie's called The Substance like got me thinking like after the accident, did she get hooked on fentanyl or something? And like this is all just like a Requiem for a Dream-esque like hallucination that she's having. And it's really just Demi Moore like sitting in front of the TV, like getting mad at the girl who stole her role or something. Yeah. And if it all is just actually existing in her head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of thought that as well. I thought it'd go that way, but they definitely didn't. I was confused. At first, I was like, okay, so she split herself out and they can only live for 7 days at a time. But I thought it was like a shared consciousness thing.
I think it is a shared consciousness thing.
But then that doesn't make any sense. That's my point. Because at first it's like, oh, it's a shared conscious. So it's only like, she knows exactly what she's doing. And she's just in a different body every week. But then it's like, no, that's not true because they're actively doing things against each other. Like they're two different people.
Well, that's why
I feel like they switched it halfway through. And I'm like, was that always supposed to be the case? Because that's what I mean. It's like, it's not clear on what they're trying to explain. I don't know if that's purposeful, but if it is, I just find that annoying.
Yeah, I think it's a shared consciousness thing when they like exchange the blood or whatever that thing is. I think that's when the consciousness moves from the other body. But I think the circumstances of where the consciousness is changes like the personality, because when it's in Elizabeth, she's just like jealous the whole time that she's in this like old decrepit Demi Moore body.
Right. But like you said, but the thing that
and then when she's in Sue, she's just she's annoyed that the other person's not taking care of themselves. Or
Right, but she'd come out of the bathroom after they'd switched, and then she'd look around and like, oh, look at this huge mess. And she'd be like, oh, I'm so pissed off that this is such a mess. But it's like, but if it was a shared consciousness, you already knew the mess was there, and you knew that it was you that did it.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm confused. I'm like, it's like, but is this an antagonist or is this just you being crazy?
I think it's the younger woman being mad at herself for her bad habits, which are gonna like catch up to her one day, and it's the older woman who's mad that she's no longer youthful. And it's just like,
I mean, I get that, but I just it wasn't clear whether it was a shared consciousness or whether there were two separate consciousnesses that just had to share the same.
The guy keeps reminding them on the phone that they're the same person, and they don't believe him.
No, but that's what I mean. So like, is it a shared consciousness or is it just like you've made a clone? So that's where I landed on in the end. I landed on like you made a clone that has a complete copy of your memories up until that point, but then up until there you only lived the week of your life that you were then able to live. That's the only way it made sense in my brain. But then I was like, well, that's stupid. Who would even want to do that? Like, that's a horrible existence for Demi Moore at that point.
I think Demi Moore, so she does have, she ends up having those memories when they go back, right? So she can live. I think she does, yeah.
I think she does, because she seems surprised when she discovers that things have happened.
I think it's just, because she's just occupying a different space, she's coming to it with a different perspective.
I didn't get that.
But it's have you ever just, pigged out at night and then the next day you're mad at yourself for having done that? Yeah, I think it's like that.
But then it's like, oh, she stole the time from me. It's like, no, you made the conscious decision to do that. It doesn't make any sense to me. Just if you would wake, when she wakes up after 3 months and she's like, oh, I'm like a monster now. It's like, yeah, but you knew that was going to happen. So why are you shocked?
I think it's when you're young and you do something stupid, say drug use, you're stealing time from your future self.
Yeah,
right? Because you're not thinking about your future in that way.
Yeah.
So then you can live some rough years as you get older if you live reckless as you're young.
Yeah. By the time it got to the really weird stuff at the end, I was just done with it. I was like, this is stupid. And maybe that was the reaction. It was because I was laughing about how dumb it was at certain points.
When she puts on the Sue mask, when she is just the blob, I'm like, okay, this movie's completely won me over. It's just the fact that she thought that this would work is so funny.
But it just seems to go on and on, man.
Well, it is too long. I will say, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes. There's no reason that this movie can't be an hour and 50.
But even when she has when they do the final confrontation between Sue and what's her name? Elizabeth, and they have the fight, and then she brutally kills her.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that would be a good finale. And then it's nope, we're going on. Now she's a monster. Now she's an insane monster. Oh, and now she's exploding and bleeding everywhere. And I was like, okay. And then her face just crawls away at the end. And I was like, can we just stop now, please?
Because she was a clone that was existing without a matrix or a foundation, right? So she was just sort of falling apart. And
I get it. I just didn't see it.
She tried to make a version of herself that was better, but she didn't have she didn't have a matrix to build it on, so it just became a monstrosity.
Yeah,
I just love all the steps. There are 5 steps into how grotesque it ends up getting. It really and obviously this is on purpose. It reminded me of The Fly, which is
there's a scene straight out of The Fly, I think, when she's in the elevator pulling her teeth out and pulling her fingernails off.
That was
that's just The Fly.
Yeah, that's the Natural History
I've got nothing
Museum of Brundle.
Yeah, nothing against that.
It's a lot of Fly, a lot of Videodrome, and there's obviously some Elephant Man and Eraserhead in here. A lot of
Showgirls.
I guess there is some Showgirls. That's not really a body horror movie, but I thought there was a lot of The Shining in there just from the shot compositions, the long hallways.
Even the carpet seemed like it was a bit of an homage.
The carpet and the bathroom in the studio looked just like the bathroom in the lounge area in The Shining.
See, it's weird because if someone explained this movie to me, I'd feel like I'd be into it. But when I was watching it last night, I was just not. And I was like, I actively hate this movie, I think. And think talking about it more,
okay.
It really didn't jive with me at all.
I went and guarded and it ended up winning me over. I don't know why this one is nominated for all these Oscars, but I'm not mad about it.
No, and Demi Moore was fine in it.
I think she was really great, especially the the getting ready lipstick scene. I thought
Yes,
that was
that was
probably the
really
best
excellent.
piece of acting I've seen her do, and I'm actually like pretty high on her as an actor already.
I was a little bit like, they're trying to make out like this aged star is like past it and is hideous and doesn't want
It's
to
so
be young. And I was
so
like, that's
funny.
Demi Moore. She looks pretty freaking good.
Well, the fact that she's
I
in her
think that's-
60s playing a 50-year-old speaks to how.
But then I was like, maybe that's the point, though, right? Like, it's how she sees herself. It's not necessarily the reality of the situation.
Yeah,
so I think
that's a very good
that's
point.
fine. But yeah, no, I just ended up hating this. And you know what? I think I might have liked it better if I'd done what you do and split it up a bit, because I mainlined it all last night, and it was like 1:30 in the morning by the time I got to the end of it, and I might have just been too tired to appreciate it. But I remember just being like, I can't abide this anymore. I want it to stop.
Like, I'll say this: anytime that someone turns into a grotesque blob and then explodes, I'm probably gonna like the movie. Like, I guess that just says something about me.
No, but that's what I mean. That's why it's weird, because in any other movie, I would have been so into that. But I think I was just like, I hated what the movie had done up until that point so much. I was like, you haven't earned the right to be a good movie in the last 20 minutes. Like, I'm pissed that you made me sit through all that.
I do think the middle act is way too long.
Oh man.
Like, the fact that this is a 2 hour and 20-minute movie is not, I would describe this movie as a horror comedy. Like, cause it's
Oh yeah.
So like I don't know how it has this runtime. Like, we did get like a lot of good acting out of it, but like they were showing way too much like of both sides of it. Like, Margaret Qualley ends up being a co-lead to it, and I think she was very good as well. Like, not as good as Demi Moore, but I don't think she needed anywhere near that screen time.
No, yeah, it just a lot of it was just like, and I get it was the point. It's like, it's just gratuitous now. Like, we don't need to see the same dancing scene of a close up of all these women. Like, not that I'm against that kind of thing, but I was like,
well,
we don't. I can see what you got to say, but like, do we really need like 20 minutes of this?
It was like a parody of male gazy, like, I guess, because like even like the grossest male director wouldn't have had that many close-ups on a woman's ass. Like, like the ass was probably like the third lead of the movie.
Oh man, if you added up the screen time, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But that's what I mean. It was so long, and like I said, it felt so like small in terms of like, there wasn't, like we said, there's not many different settings that they were in. There's not many characters in it. And we spent so much time on it, and I was like,
yeah. Well, I guess we're just far apart on this one.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I did not like it.
It's okay. You know what? I think people probably listen to this podcast and say like, these guys just agree with each other all the time. So it's good that we have instances that we can point to where we don't agree.
I was doing that thing last night where I was like, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills, because I'm like, am I the only one that thinks this is not a good movie?
Oh, plenty of people are on the other side.
Yeah, so I looked up a few reviews, and I was like, okay, it's very polarizing. It's like all 10s and 1s. So I was like,
I wouldn't give it a 10, but I'd give it like a very, very solid 8.
Yeah, and I wouldn't give it a 1. I know I said I hated it, but there's definitely things in it that are good. But I just, I say I don't want to watch it ever again.
Well, anyways, with that, we were at the movie theater. If you are new to the podcast, Pete and I are going to go inside and watch Companion, then come back and give you a spoiler-free review of the movie before giving you plenty of warning before going to spoiler talk. Anything else, Pete?
No, I think we need to get cracking before.
Yeah, we're going to be late, so wish us luck, everybody.
Yeah, don't go anywhere, guys. Welcome back, everyone. We just came out of the theater after seeing Companion.
Yeah, and we did mention before that we were seeing a matinee, which is quite unusual for us.
Yes, I think this is the earliest we've ever seen a movie for the pod.
It's got to be. Like,
sun's still out.
We've seen... Did we not see a matinee one time before?
I feel like we must... I think we did. I remember us talking about how it was light when we came out, but I don't remember what it
feels very strange, though. Like, usually we were catching, like, the 9:30 show, basically.
It's very late.
After our kids are in bed.
So this is probably going to be the highest energy episode we've ever done.
Yeah.
Just because it's still early in the day.
So, maybe before we get into the episode, we should address the fact that we accidentally spoiled it by just
well, I might even
recalling...
I might even do a drop in and put a disclaimer on that just to give people a warning, because I think it technically does spoil it a little bit.
So, but I will say the movie itself does not go to any lengths to hide that spoil. Like, I think even going in without any context, like I could have guessed that she was a robot within 2 minutes.
And they reveal it pretty quickly.
It's really quick.
Yeah.
So I really don't consider it a spoil.
Yeah.
I could see someone being mad that they know that going in, and the movie kind of tries to play it off like it's a twist, but like it's not hiding it at all.
No, and like they put it in all the marketing materials. So.
Yeah, so like I think that we're okay. Like it's
it's fair. It's fair.
I think it's fair.
We didn't spoil too much.
It's an always stop. What are you doing?
Live.
He's like waving me through, saying like, "Okay, fine, you can go." And it was my turn.
It's like, yeah, that's how driving works.
Yeah,
Gosh.
Jesus.
Anyway,
bunch of yahoos in this city. So, also, I just wanted to tell the story of us going into the theater. So Pete and I were talking about M. Night Shyamalan's recent movies, and I was just talking about how I don't really vibe with the whole like stylistic choices that like all the actors are directed to make. Like how that like in like his last few movies, everyone's kind of talking really like kind of like hyper self-aware kind of. And I asked the attendant who was like
the guy who's scanning
the tickets if he had seen the movie Old, and his response was, "There's no heat that's working in your theater."
I feel like maybe he was like a robot.
He just stared at me with dead eyes. Did not like process the question I asked him.
Have you seen M. Night Shyamalan's Old? He's like, there's no heat in theater 12. Okay.
So then the heat wasn't working in their theater. I didn't really find it all that cold.
No, I didn't really.
They left the door open, which was really annoying. Like, sound was coming in throughout the movie.
Yeah, I heard a lot of giggling kids out in the hallway running up and down.
Like, at first I thought it was like part of the background material. I couldn't really square.
Like, why are they playing this weird music in the background?
Yeah,
real low.
Like someone was just murdered. Why did someone put the radio on in the other room in this house? What's going on? But no, I guess we sort of thought maybe they left the door open on purpose because the heat wasn't working in the theater. So it was a bit of a strange viewing experience.
Yeah, so maybe we won't do a matinee again for a bit.
Yeah, like we were saying, like the weirdos come out for the matinee.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
okay.
How about the movie, Trevor? Did you like it?
I thought it was fun. I thought it was cute. Yeah. Like it's not really trying to take itself too seriously.
No.
I guess it's sort of like depending on you having watched a lot of like robot movies.
Right.
Because it's letting like that, like the shorthand established with what you know about robots to do a lot of the work. Ooh.
Well, just hold please for this ambulance for going through.
I wonder when you clean this up, is that sound of the ambulance going to make it?
It doesn't come through, but
okay.
Maybe I'll just put some fake ambulance noise in.
Put like a British ambulance noise in the background. Give you a little taste of home. Well, how about you?
I quite liked it. I thought it was because like I think I said before we reviewed, I was like, oh, I'm assuming it's going to be this like robot companion goes nuts and starts killing people, and it's kind of like it flips it on its head a little bit without spoiling too much. So it's I thought it was an interesting take on that sort of genre.
Yeah, and like I think like none of the performances blew me away. Everyone's playing it pretty broad.
Yeah.
I would say, but I think pretty good job by Sophie Thatcher and Jack Quaid.
Yeah, it's funny because I know before we went in, I don't know if we were on the pod or before we started recording, but we were talking about whether this was supposed to be a comedy or not, and we were like, it doesn't say it's a comedy, and like.
But it's weird that Jack Quaid would be in it. It's not
like
a comedy.
Guillermo from What We Do in the Shadows. I was like, this has got to be a comedy. And it pretty much was.
And it does a hard cut to Jack Quaid like having an orgasm within like 5 minutes of the movie, which was pretty funny. Yeah,
there was definitely a lot of laughs in the theater.
Yeah, so I don't know how you would classify this. Would you say this was a horror, or would you say it's a thriller?
It's a good question. I
guess it skirts the line. Like it does go into horror a little bit.
Comedic thriller.
Yeah.
I don't know. But no, I quite enjoyed it. And like mercifully very short. Not mercifully, but like I've been complaining about long
like
movies.
92 minutes or something.
And it was perfect. It's just like we knew what it wanted to do, didn't dick around too much. Like the reveal came like pretty quickly because they knew it wasn't important to string that out for half an hour. So just get going with it and get moving. And did it like some of the reveals were like a bit telegraphed. And,
There were a few. Yeah, I was going to ask you. So there were a few reveals. I did not find any of them surprising.
no, none of them at all.
I
mean, once you understand, like straight away, when the first big thing happens, then you're like, oh, okay, I know what happened now. It's not like those big twists that you didn't see coming or anything.
Like I kind of got the feeling that exact thing was going to happen, like before she had even left the hotel room, because like, well,
there was shady stuff going on.
A character's doing some shady stuff right from the get-go that, there's not really a shadow of a doubt like what actually has occurred, even though I think the movie is trying to like have it like kind of unravel and like you slowly discover things.
Yeah.
So in that regard, like it's not like totally successful because things are just like pretty apparently obvious.
It didn't do a great job of being like it like there's not like red herrings or like, oh, you thought this was what happened, but it's actually this that happened. It was like, no, that's what I thought happened, because you basically telegraphed it quite a lot.
Well, and like, so I guess we've already spoiled the fact that she's a robot, right? Like, so the movie plays that as if it's a reveal and that we're surprising, and it goes back in time and shows us that she is in fact a robot, and her memories that she was describing were not real.
That was like 10 minutes in.
It was 10 minutes in, but it really is playing it like that might surprise people.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, but they were being really heavy-handed with like, oh, I guess my programming I can't program that or whatever. The way they were talking.
He calls her Bee Boop.
Oh man, that's an amazing pet name for your robot girlfriend. Like it's pretty comedic, right? It's like, even though it was like there's a lot of like pretty thriller elements in it, like especially when Trevor went to the bathroom, there was some
so for
some hyper-violence.
For my P report, I went about 50 minutes into the movie. It was during like a hijinks bit between one of the characters and a police officer. That was the wrong time to go to the bathroom.
Yes, I thought the hijinks end very abruptly.
I thought like, oh, okay, I understand. Like, I understand the types of jokes that are going on, so I'm going to try to go go now.
Yeah, there isn't really a good, like, it goes along with such a clip. There isn't really a lull. I mean,
it's a pretty brisk movie
for a pee break.
Yeah, I don't know. There's not like the best time to go. There's a few times where people are just like in the woods walking around, but like, I don't know, there's some good character moments in there too, so it's hard to pinpoint exactly.
Yeah,
but just hold it, I guess.
They fall back to a lot of that stuff as well, so
yeah,
it's tricky. Just hold it. Yeah, it's only 90 minutes. You can handle it.
So what did there was one plot device that I wanted to talk to you about once we go into spoilers. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on?
Yeah, I was trying to think of what we could talk about without going into spoilers at this point, but no, like you say, I think the cast were all pretty good. So everyone did a pretty decent job. It's just like, it's not doing anything that's going to blow you away, but it's just like it's a fun little horror comedy that does some things you wouldn't really be expecting, but it's not going to shock you too much.
Yeah,
I'd definitely recommend it. I mean, I thought I had a good time.
I think so.
I had a great time with it.
Yeah, it definitely shows its budget and that they basically just have rented that one house.
Exactly. Yeah.
But no,
some good effects in it though at certain points.
Definitely enjoyable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Spoilers?
Yeah. Sure. Let's get into spoilers.
Okay. So the thing I was confused about, is they mentioned like how big the property is.
Right. Well, we didn't mention as well. I think we missed the opening because we were too busy recording the pod.
Well, I only want the diehards to know that who are sticking with us past the spoiler point.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much we missed, but I think it might have been in like 30 seconds.
It's the first time since we've been doing this podcast that we actually missed an opening.
Is it?
And yeah, it's because we were sitting in the parking lot talking about the substance for too
long. I was ranting about the substance, and we ended up missing the first minute of this.
I think yes, because like Cineplex has been really cramming in a lot of previews and commercials and stuff. So
that's weird.
We've not really felt in a hurry to.
Maybe the matinees just don't have as much previews, man. We're learning so much about early showings of movies today.
Yeah, it's like a whole new world.
Yeah, it's like
I think maybe we missed like a 30 seconds up to a minute. I don't feel like we missed anything.
I think it kind of just drops you in, right? Because they sort of go back to explain all the backstory. So I don't think there was any preamble before they landed on, hey, we're all at this cabin for the weekend.
So after Sergei is murdered,
yes,
do they not send Eli out to call the cops?
Yeah, he's on the phone with the cops, right?
So like, I don't understand why the cops haven't come the entire time.
That's a great question.
I don't understand because like at no point do cops show up like asking for Sergei. Like, am I missing something there?
No, I'm trying to think now because he definitely was on the phone, right, when she runs away.
Yeah,
maybe.
And he says yes, she's tied up, she's not going anywhere, and then she runs off. Does he say something to cancel the phone call?
I don't think you can cancel 911 calls, right?
Yeah, I've had a child accidentally dial 911 and the police have showed up and had to make sure that everyone's okay.
Yeah, I think that's just a plot hole, right?
I don't unless we're missing something. I was just expecting there to be a ticking clock the whole time that we got to hurry for the cops, but then
a cop shows up.
A cop shows up and he has no idea that like a murder has taken place or anything. No one comes looking for that cop. No one comes looking for those techies.
Unless maybe he wasn't calling the cops, he was calling the company because they show up eventually. But
he tells him to go call the cops, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that might just be a bit of an error in the movie. Yeah, so the police never show up, right?
That part was bothering me. And then, like, I was kind of thinking about that basically the entire time I was watching it. Like, why haven't the police shown up? Like, am I missing something?
Yeah, that is a good point. Because I also was thinking that, but then I kind of just forgot about it and moved on. I think I don't know why I did that. But yeah, now you mention it.
Because you're probably just enjoying like just a stupid fun movie.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't have to worry about it too much. I guess he just told him not to bother coming.
It definitely seems like, like a Hitchcock-inspired thing where, there's a murder and then what you think happened didn't actually happen. It was actually this that happened.
Yeah. I did kind of like that, how it was like, my assumption going in was like this robot's going to end up killing all these people.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh no, the people are all jerks. Like horrible dicks. Basically just like a psychotic incel is the main bad guy of the movie.
Oh man, and Jack Quaid just like plays that so well.
Oh, he really did. But he just that whole spiel about how like the universe owes him and he says like I'm a nice guy.
Like the universe isn't nice to people like me, and then she like goes, come on. Like seriously?
Yeah, like they're a bit heavy-handed with it maybe, but I think it worked.
Yeah, like I know you haven't seen the Scream movies, right?
I have, yeah.
Have you seen the Jack Quaid one?
Oh, you mean the new ones?
Yeah.
No.
So he's in Scream 5.
Oh, is he? I had no idea.
Yeah. And so okay, skip ahead 60 seconds. Anyone who doesn't want to hear a spoiler for Scream 5, but wait, do you want to hear a spoiler for Scream 5?
I mean, go for it. Is he the murderer?
Yeah, so he
just ruined it.
He plays like the nice boyfriend who everyone's just like, well, it's clearly him because he's too nice, and it's always the boyfriend. He's like, can some people stop saying that? But it does turn out to be him, so it's just like a double misdirect. Nice. And like he plays like sort of like an incel fanboy kind of kind of thing.
Because I was thinking
like a toxic internet culture.
This is a really different side of Jack Quaid that I've not seen. But I guess that's just because I haven't seen Scream 5.
Yeah, so like
you're a bit like I've seen this before.
I had seen him play a villain before, and then that's kind of what I was thinking. As soon as he takes out his phone and then that, the USB drive or whatever he puts in there, I'm like, oh, he's doing some shady shit.
Bad guy.
First, I thought he was just trying to get her out of the room so then he could hook up with Kat.
They were playing that off, right? Like when they were dancing together and stuff.
So then I was thinking like, oh, is she going to see them together and then she's going to go like crazy?
That's exactly what I thought was going to happen. Because I think that's what they were trying to say was going to happen, right?
Yeah.
But then you immediately realize that's not what's going on at all.
That's kind of what I meant when I said that they were sort of playing with what your expectations are for an AI like movie.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because I think until the point where she finds a knife in the pocket, and then it was kind of like, okay, well, that's super obvious that she's been set up to kill this. It's like right away, you're like, I know exactly what's happening now.
Yeah, Sergey's such a sleazeball. Like that's
I love how they made it out like he was just really bad. And he's like, when he's
like, I get my hands dirty.
Like, I got my hands in a lot of things. Like, it's dirty work.
And he's a sod salesman.
Like that's legit hilarious.
That's really funny. It's like, let's just say I get my hands dirty.
He's just being literal.
Yeah.
It's like, I got my hands in a lot of things and it gets dirty. And it's like, yeah, because he's freaking planting sod.
It's a lot of, like, he must, like, distribute a lot of sod.
Right.
Like maybe golf courses or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Now looking back, I forgot how funny I literally made this line.
The one mechanic in this movie I really liked is like the love imprinting thing.
Oh yeah,
which is like just lifted from AI, artificial intelligence,
right.
Where Haley Joel Osment's character love imprints on his mom, and it just makes him go crazy.
Right.
And it's basically that same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And both of the companions in this one are just like desperately in love to the fact that it causes them physical pain, which is just so goddamn cruel.
It's really bad, isn't it? Yeah, and the reveal of Patrick being a companion was pretty obvious as well. I mean,
well, it's just like, you know, like I don't want to be mean to Guillermo, but like, you know, Patrick's a 10.
Yeah,
right. Like,
it'd be funny we go back and watch this guy because they do lay on thick where he's like he makes all the food and he looks after him and he's like this good looking guy.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, and that's I was suspicious of Patrick right from the get go.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty obvious. And he like went psycho, like the bit where you went to the bathroom when he kills that police officer. Holy hell! He just beats his head in with the butt of the gun like 10 times.
Yeah, I missed the police officer dying. Can you describe? Yeah, can you just describe the kill in full?
Yeah, he's just like he's trying to arrest her, and she's still talking German, and then Patrick just walks up, and just takes the gun and just starts slamming it into the guy's face multiple times, just like in a psycho robot fashion.
Yeah, okay.
Like dead-eyed look and just smashing the guy's face in.
Well, when it comes to streaming, I'm gonna have to just rewatch that scene. I usually have pretty good instincts for when to go to the bathroom, but that was
no, was that the brutalest scene of the movie?
So I missed the best kill. So
no, yeah, but yeah, he did pretty good evil robot.
Okay. So what was your favorite kill from this one? And don't say it was the
one that you missed.
One that I missed. Yeah,
I know we just talked. I think I just said that was the best one, but yeah, I mean, I thought they start off well with the whole like knife in the neck and then blood all over it. I was hoping that they were gonna let her change out of the clothes because it was bothering me all the blood.
She was in
just
that
in the
for
top,
a long
the top
time.
part of that shirt. It was all the blood on it. I was like, I get that they had all the blood on that, but it's very distracting. But that was pretty brutal to set us off. Just like literally just like blood spraying all over her. But no, that was a pretty good one. I'm trying to remember the others, if I'm being honest.
Well, and then like Eli
people just getting shot.
Eli falls on top of her and then just gets shot. It's kind of a boring kill. I liked when
obviously.
I liked when he told Patrick to stop Kat, and then he just very disturbingly stabs her in the back. Like I thought that was pretty effective.
I love the way that was played as well. Like her reaction, she was just like, "Fucking seriously? Like really? This is what's happening now?" She's like,
she's like, "Can you just stop talking to me? I'm just trying to die in peace now."
You're such an idiot. This is your fault. I'm just gonna go sit down now and die.
I love. After she dies, he says that they had like a will they won't they thing when they clearly did not.
Yeah, he's trying to play it out like that. Right? He's definitely one way. The bit where it's like, "Are you guys sleeping?" And she's like, "Ew." And he's like, "What?
What do you mean gross?"
Yeah, that was it. No, yeah, it's definitely just makes his character even seem more just like that kind of guy.
But when we didn't really talk about this.
It's not the kind of movie that goes for the crazy kills, though, right? I don't think so. Like it's not
really.
It's like a slasher movie.
It sounds like it was going for one crazy kill that I missed. I feel.
Yeah, but even that wasn't that crazy. It's just someone getting their head caved in. It happens.
It happens. That's
But
happens every day. Pick up a newspaper.
But the big kill, the end kill that they telegraphed.
Oh yeah.
from the very beginning.
Well,
I think I called it Chekhov's corkscrew.
Yeah.
Led over to Trevor.
Well, the fact that they showed it like a second time when
Yes.
they had already like telegraphed it early in the movie.
Yeah, but that could have just been like Sergei just being weird because they want that character to seem like shifty.
I think it would have been way more effective if it didn't show it that second time, because
it was just ramming it home, right?
it was long enough in the movie that I had forgotten about the corkscrew.
Right? Yeah. Maybe that's why. Maybe they want people to forget about it entirely.
Yeah.
Because if they hadn't come back to it and she just stuck it in his head, you'd be like, "What is that? Where did that come from?"
She says, "Go to sleep."
Yes, nice.
So, what did you think of Sophie Thatcher's performance?
She was pretty good. I was getting pretty big Scarlett Johansson vibes from her.
I was gonna say I thought, she was reminding me of Emma Stone throughout the movie.
Oh, really? Okay, interesting.
So
Yeah,
I don't know. I think that's the first thing I've really noticed her in.
To be compared to, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've not seen her in anything. I think is she done a lot of TV or something?
I've no idea. I just
there you go.
looked her up today.
Okay, yeah, I don't remember seeing her in anything. So, no, she was good because she's definitely the lead of the movie, right?
Yeah. And what did you think of like her of discovering her own like learning how to like hack herself or
Yeah,
whatever?
I thought that was a little bit like there's a lot of conveniences in that. It was like, this is terribly designed. Why would they let this be? But like, why would they let somebody be like turn themselves into like be able to control their own stuff and make their intelligence go to 100?
Well, the fact that they have like these Asimov rules of robotics that they all apply to.
Yeah, right.
But then it really just takes like a guy jailbreaking his phone to get past it. It seems a little crazy.
You just jailbreak your phone and you could turn into a killer robot. Like, why not?
Yeah.
I didn't think it was cool when she was playing with the settings and like changing her eye color. Well, that was pretty. But
then she just puts it. Cool, she just puts it back to normal.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a cool visual to show, and like changing the languages.
I think it was a bit of a missed opportunity for her to find her own like style and personality throughout the movie.
Yeah, that could have been interesting.
And they do that sort of at the very end. Like she puts on different clothes and stuff.
She's totally like jailbreaks it as well.
Because her attitude towards what is Jack Quaid's character's name again?
Oh God, I don't know.
But like her attitude towards him like sours pretty quickly.
Right. Yeah.
But like she doesn't really. Like she doesn't change all that much from like the initial change. Like it didn't seem all that gradual to me.
I love the bit where she breaks up with him on the phone, and like you could see how like even a robot designed to like do anything I say is breaking up with me. Yeah, he's so pissed off. I thought that was pretty good. It's like you can see him like he's just like can't believe it. It's like, how is this even possible?
We had like I mentioned that he was Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan's son before, but we hadn't really addressed that we picked to talk about the substance earlier on.
We kind of picked it for that link and I didn't even mention it, right?
Yeah, so I don't know, how do you feel about Jack Quaid overall? Like, I'm a pretty big fan.
Yeah, I love him.
The boys in Lower Decks.
That's the one problem though, because a lot of the times when even in this movie, I all I hear is Boingler. Yeah, and then like I just can't take it seriously. Which is no fault of his. It is his voice. But no, I love him. I love him in everything I've seen him in, to be fair. So
he really does, like, he owns the lane of like, I'm like pathetic white guy loser type. Yeah.
For a Nepo baby.
For a Nepo baby, yeah.
I'm a big fan.
Well, and actually he has like the best perspective on Nepo baby that I've ever heard.
That. Yeah, he's like,
because Meg Ryan was saying that he's not a Nepo baby, and he's like, well, that's a stupid thing for her to say. Like, of course I am. Like, I think she's just trying to protect me, but like, I clearly am a Nepo baby. It doesn't mean that I don't have like talent, that I don't work hard.
Exactly. Yeah, not mutually exclusive for us. Right?
Like, honestly, if every single Nepo baby had that perspective, like none of them would bother me at all, because like, you know. The ones who've made it big, for the most part, make it big because they've made some kind of connection to the audience, right? Like,
there's plenty of them that get a leg up and are useless and don't go anywhere. Yeah, it's just the opportunity that you get. You don't exactly. You don't get the actual talent.
Do you know how many kids Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie have? Like, and none of them are famous, right? Like, it's. Like
not yet.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's a good point. Like it does get your foot in the door, but I don't know if there's like a Nepo baby I could necessarily point to that says, I could say like, you know, they're just bad and they're only famous for being like the child of, you know, these people.
Exactly.
Especially not nowadays when like being a movie star does not really carry that much cachet anymore.
Right.
Because everyone just like goes to a movie for IP now.
True. You saying the movie star is dead?
I'm saying the movie star is dead, except for Jack Quaid. I think he's great. I like Dennis Quaid too.
Yeah.
I think so. And I love Meg Ryan.
Well,
she's
there
not
you go.
really in much anymore.
No, that's very true. There you go. They're good family. Good
There you
family
go.
of acting.
Well, why don't we ask producer Brandon? What do you think about the Quaid family?
They're doing very well.
There you go.
There you go. Well, he finally said
Some
something.
great insights.
He's been riding in this car for like 40 some odd episodes. He finally piped up.
Just never ever.
So what do you think about Companion? Or did we let him go into the theater this time, or was he?
No, he has to stay in the car, right?
Okay.
Look out for it. And we didn't mention that your car got a cameo in this movie, Trevor.
Okay, that's true. It's
Did
true.
I, like doxing your car ownership here?
Well, I don't know, like, because I was hesitating saying something about it because maybe people have been able to piece together like what theaters we go to based on what we're saying. So
I look through the footage and find your car.
Yeah, but it's literally the exact same make, model, and color as my car. So it was a little disturbing.
They went for like futuristic cars and they picked Trevor's.
Like my car does look sort of like futuristic looking, but it is just kind of a regular car.
Yeah, true.
It just is sort of like it's like faux stylish.
I did like the bit where she's trying to modulate Jack Quaid's voice by changing the settings of her own voice.
Yeah,
that was pretty clever.
Yeah, like I enjoyed that. Like I don't think you could get to Jack Quaid's voice just by 3 dials.
Well, I don't know, Trevor. If you had 100% intelligence, you might.
That's true. Although she didn't think through the fact that the car wouldn't recognize her voice ID.
She failed that.
I feel like an Ivy League grad might know.
Well, I gave her the benefit of the doubt of thought that maybe Jack Quaid changed the setting on his car before they went looking for her.
Maybe.
Because I'm assuming she's done it before in the past.
Yeah.
But maybe not.
Maybe, I don't know.
See, I'm just making up my own
like even my
things that happened off screen just to explain.
My Alexa at home knows my voice.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, there's a lot of Alexa similarities in this movie. Well, that was the one thing I did think about this movie is like it's scarily accurate for what could easily happen in the not too distant future.
Oh yeah, like I think we're
not far away from
heading into
robot companions.
Well, and the fact that like the scariest part of the movie to me is when the techies were there, and then they just pretend to buy Jack Quaid's story, and as soon as they go out, they're like, "Oh yeah, he fucking killed her."
Yeah, he's like he just jailbroke his thing.
This literally happens all the time. Like they people just torture and shoot these things or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, that is exactly what's going to happen.
Oh yeah,
these things become
people. Doesn't a line like people are weird or people are fucked up?
Well, people are fucked up. Well, and like the type of person who would get like a companion robot like this.
Yeah.
No offense if that's what amongst our listeners are the same type of person who would hate women maybe and do stuff like that. So the movie's definitely commenting on where we're going as a society.
For sure. What's the I don't know why my brain is faltering on this. What's the robot movie with where they're all cowboys? The TV show. Yeah. There's a lot of Westworld.
Well, especially in her tampering with her settings.
Yeah, and realizing that you're a robot and coming to terms with that and actually rebelling against the horrible humans that are basically abusing you.
Yeah.
It's the whole first season of that show.
And it's also the only season of that show I watched.
And it's also the only season that's any good, so you'll be fine.
That's good. I watched the first episode of the second season and then I kind of just lost interest.
I did the exact same thing. I think honestly though, I think the first season was such a great story that the second season, I don't really. There's not an interesting story here anymore. Now everything's been revealed.
I kind of wish the plot of season 1 had been stretched over 3 seasons because I kind of wanted them to just spend more time doing fun
cowboy stuff, right? Yeah.
Because you don't really get you didn't really do that outside of a couple of scenes and a couple of episodes.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because they were mentioning all these plots that the robots participate in, and I'm like,
right.
Some of those sound like pretty good standalone episodes. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I kind of see where you're coming from. It was just a really good season. They told a really good story in that first season, and I don't know how they did. Apparently, because it's funny you said that because that's exactly what I did. I watched the first episode. I'm like, yeah, I don't really care where this is going. I've seen the story I wanted to see from these guys.
Well, apparently it gets super weird. So.
Oh yeah. no doubt.
There you go. And people like either really love it, which is the very tiny minority, or hate it with a passion, which it sounds like most people.
I'm guessing it's one of those things that like you have to stick with it and really invest in it to get stuff out of it. And
Yeah, I guess
no one got time for that.
If you buy into the fact that they're just going to do weird stuff and it's not going to be a consistent show,
Right.
then you can probably enjoy it. Yeah. There's just too much TV. So hard to prioritize what to watch.
Exactly. Well, especially like I felt like everything was revealed. Like all the things that were going to be revealed were kind of revealed in the first season, and second season, like what are you going to reveal? Like there's more robots. Like this one's a robot now. Like okay. They could have kept that. They needed to keep that mystery going a bit longer, I think.
So now, now we've done 2 episodes in a row, RoboCop and Companion on.
Yeah, we're doing a bit of a robots there, aren't we? No, there are more robots movies coming up we could do.
Well, why don't we telegraph that next week we're going to be doing Captain
I guess
America.
so is that like technically like Cyborg? He's got robot parts, right? He's got wings.
Well, I don't know. Is Winter Soldier going to pop up in
half man, half machine? Oh yeah, Winter
wings?
Because they're the wings. I said Falcon's got wings, man.
So that makes him half robot.
I mean, he's got robot parts, right? What's the definition of a cyborg? I don't know.
Probably not that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a stretch. He's just wearing some fake wings. But yeah, Winter Soldier, he's a cyborg.
We're doing that episode, and then we're going to go see Heat.
Yes, we are.
35 millimeter, which should be great.
Yeah, that'll be amazing.
And then, we're going to get the full schedule out hopefully before this episode comes out. So it should come as a surprise to listeners.
Yeah, we'll put in there what Oscar movies we're going to be reviewing as well.
Yeah, so I don't want to commit ourselves right now because I think we still have to figure out what's possible.
Yeah, we need to find out what we can get streaming and then check it out.
Yeah, we do want to try to figure out how to see Brutalist in theater.
Yes, that would be good.
Show times around us are pretty lean, so we're going to figure that out.
Yes. We'll get to it. We'll find it somewhere.
All right. So how would you rate Companion?
I'd rate it pretty high, but only because I think it's not trying to do more than what it wants to do. It's not trying to be more than what it is, and and it knows what it wants to do, and it does that well. So I'd rate it pretty high. I mean, it's not like a 6.5 out of 6.5 or anything, but it's a definite like 5.5 for me.
Oh,
that might be a bit high.
I was gonna say 4.5 or something.
Yeah, I could see that.
I definitely enjoyed it, but I guess it depends on how you rate movies.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's about your criteria.
It is doing a great job at what it's trying to do. It doesn't have higher ambitions than what it's trying to do.
Exactly.
It's also it's just stupid fun.
Yeah, I had a good time. That's all I wanted from it. Thought it was great.
Good time. Got away from the kids a little bit. Jeez.
I liked it way more than I liked the substance.
That's crazy to me. Have you seen The Substance, producer Brandon? Okay. Yeah. So you like it more than Pete?
Yeah, don't bother.
I like The Substance.
I mean, I like bits of The Substance.
Did you give it a rate? Did you give it a failing grade?
I can't remember. I don't know if we gave it a grade, but yeah, I would give it a failing grade. I don't want to watch that again. I don't think anyone should watch it. It's annoying.
Okay. Should we put a poll up on this episode to say did you like The Substance?
Yeah, we should definitely do that. What's the poll? Is The Simpsons a good movie? Yes or no? There's no middle ground.
I think most people.
I feel like I've just picked that I want to shit on it, but because I didn't like it. I wouldn't give it like a 0 mark or whatever, like a 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 6.5. It's not that bad, but no, I definitely do not like it. Would not recommend.
We talked a little bit about this when we went off mic, but I need you to watch Saltburn,
right,
and tell me what you think of it.
Okay, but now I'm going to be expecting not to like the end of it.
Well, I'm sure you already know that there are big feelings about Saltburn.
Yeah.
Right. Very divisive movie.
Yeah, true.
So maybe a future project we'd have is watching movies that split
split opinion movies
program.
We'll just have to figure out which ones you like and I hate, and vice versa, and we'll just argue each. Maybe we'll do you have to argue your case for why you're wrong about this movie.
I think there's a nugget to that idea. Yeah, you got to flesh that out a bit. Okay. Anything else we want to cover before?
I don't think so. Right. For Captain America's next week, right?
Captain America next week. Make sure to follow us on Spotify, Apple or wherever you're listening to right now.
Yeah.
Rate us 5 stars. Follow us on Letterboxd.
Yeah, reach out to us. Let us know what you think of the substance or companion or anything. Give us your opinion. We want to hear what you guys think.
Also talk to
Oh, yeah, we got about Anora. That's good too. I'd say that's the best of the 3 we've talked about this week.
I guess I would agree.
There you go.
Okay.
See, we're on the same page. So,
All right. Well, why don't you start us off?
okay, well, until next week, until Captain America, that's the final word.